Hello, besties.
Hey.
You're tuning in to the Hello Besties podcast with your hosts, Maggie
and Tashima.
We are two childhood friends spilling the best tea about our journeys through life and having a ton of fun while doing it. So we're going to be discussing a lot with you for the foreseeable future, but tonight,
it's all about Halloween.
Yes, it is. So, teams, what is your favorite part about Halloween?
Literally everything.
Me too. It's amazing.
I love everything about Halloween. There's not a single thing about Halloween that I don't like.
I can do without the super gruesome horror movies, but other than that, I'm here for everything.
No, I love everything about Halloween. I love the time of year. It being in fall, and the seasons are changing, and there's that smell in the air, and things start to get a little crispy. We're in Florida, so it's like all year is summer.
Basically.
And you get like a little bit of fall, a sprinkle of winter, and then we're right back in summer. So this time of year just warms my heart, makes me so happy.
Yes.
And then, I mean, who doesn't love dressing up?
For reals. So, who are you this evening?
I am Mitsuri. I'm probably saying it really wrong. I was hoping that you weren't going to ask me that. But she is a character from Demon Slayer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just roll with that.
All right, we'll roll with that.
And who are you?
I'm just a sugar skull skeleton. We're rocking with it.
I love it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Good on you.
Thank you. Yes. So jumping into, you love everything about Halloween.
Everything.
I do too. I know it's your favorite holiday.
It is my absolute number one favorite.
Yes, and especially living in Florida. We just hit the 60s, I think, this week, finally, is the first time.
For like a second.
For a second, and it's back up to what we're used
like
to.
A toe.
So so we are just going to celebrate and wig out on Halloween tonight. So let's just jump right into it.
Okay.
When you think of Halloween in terms of, let's say, movies,
okay,
what are some of like your favorite holiday movies?
I have a list. I'm so glad you asked. Let me pull up said list. Don't mind if I do. So I would say my number one that just makes me feel fall and Halloween would be the Harry Potter series. So I don't think that's really in the Halloween category. I'm not really sure, but that's definitely something that I watch every year, only really at this time of year.
Well, this is Halloween to you. So
yeah, it is.
It's fun.
It makes me feel very Halloween-y. The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
Hocus Pocus is a must.
Obvi.
The Curse of Bridge Hollow. That's what I wanted to recommend to you.
I've never seen it.
You probably haven't seen it.
Never even heard of it.
It's fairly new.
Okay.
It's on Netflix, and it's with
The Curse of Bridge Hollow.
Yes.
All right.
It's with the not Marlon Wayans. What's the one from Scary Movie? Well, they were both in Scary Movie.
Sean?
Okay, but maybe it's Marlon. The really, really goofy one.
Marlon.
Yeah, okay, Marlon.
Okay. Okay, they were both in the Wayans brothers.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So it's on Netflix, and it's so good, and it's hilarious.
When
but basically,
it's
maybe like a year or two ago.
Okay.
But he basically doesn't like Halloween. But they moved to a town. His wife is oh my god, I'm so bad with names. Newsflash, I'm really bad with celebrity names. There's not enough bandwidth in here.
I'm surprised she's like doing this right now, but I'm gonna let her rock with it.
From Destiny's Child. Not
the original?
Yeah.
The original Kelly Rowland?
Yes.
Okay.
Is his wife.
All right.
And then his daughter. They moved to like a Halloween obsessed town, and he hates Halloween. And it is so funny. It's so good. Anyway, that was enough time on that. Scary Movie is like
yes, it is.
Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters, and then I have to give a shout out to Paranormal Activity.
Oh, you're a brave one.
It's not my favorite, but it is one that literally ended me watching scary movies.
I believe it. Yes.
Because I watched this movie in the movie theater, and somebody told me that this was based on a true event.
Yes.
And so I was like, wow. I watched it and I was terrified to only later find out that it was not based on true events.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's not.
The whole time I thought it was. See, I believe in that stuff, so to have validation of it.
No, it's not. But I thought it was at the time, and it gave me like sleepless nights. So that was the end of me watching really scary movies.
Yeah, so do it.
What about you?
I agree with a lot of what you said. Scary movie, obviously.
Yeah,
goes without saying. Hocus Pocus 1 and 2. I think they did a good job on the sequels.
Did a pretty good job.
Sequels are a rough one, so
yeah,
I'm gonna give them kudos for that. Yeah,
that one I gave a shot.
They did it. They gave some background to how they became witches, and that was good. Let me pull up my list here to make sure I don't miss anything. I'm definitely rocking with you on Beetlejuice too. I'm gonna throw out Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's considered a Halloween movie, but again,
it was on my list, but it is a good one.
Love me some Edward Scissorhands. Johnny Depp.
It's a classic.
Yes. I'm gonna throw out the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good shout.
I think we pretty much covered it because I'm really not into the super scary movies. I'm not. I stay away from them at all costs. So yeah, that sums up my not so scary Halloween movies.
Okay, cool. So do you have any books that you would consider not necessarily like spooky or eerie, but that make you feel more fall? Do you have anything off the top of your head that you can think of?
There's some that I like to read to my kids, and I'll have some honorable mentions there. Yeah. But in terms of me, myself, I've heard of a really good book that I'd like to read, which is called The Night Circus. I've heard some very good things about that book, so I'd like to check it out. I heard that it's very, very fall. But there's one that my kids really like, and it's called The Leaf Thief.
Oh.
Yes.
That sounds good.
That's a favorite. It's basically about a little squirrel who he doesn't understand that the seasons are changing and, the leaves are missing and then the snow comes and he just is accusing all these different little forest animals of like stealing the leaves. So it's a cute little plot. Yeah. It's a fun story. That. They do. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to venture into more different genres of books. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say about books you recommend.
So a book that I recommend would be, I think it's called, I hate to keep doing this. It's called what is it called? Final Girls Support Group. This is basically a book about the women or girls who are the survivors in most of these horror movies that we've come to love over time that are based on real events. So these final girls, which are the sole survivors of these horrific events that have happened, they basically have a support group on coming together and like what it means to be a final girl. And
that is such a cool concept.
It is so good. And
does it list out different movies specifically, or is it
does
understood
give you
that
these girls are and what movies they're from and what real events and like how this has impacted their lives and how they basically are living now and coming together in the support group. And there is a mystery, so it's like Mystery Fall is a very good book. So I highly recommend it.
I'm going to check that out, seriously.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like something I could get into, but is it too, like, creepy?
I don't think so.
I like some mystery. I like a little mystery, but in terms of, like, creepy going to keep me up at night, I try to stay away from those.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to keep you up at night.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I'm
going to check it out.
Fall and spooky and just everything that this season is going to bring.
It sounds really cool, and I'm glad that someone took the initiative to write a book like that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It is.
So, all right. We both love music.
Yes.
So when you think about Halloween specifically, what are some songs that are like default on your playlist?
The number one would have to be This Is Halloween. I think it's probably because of my kids, but that is like the first one that comes into my head.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's Watching Me.
Yes.
It's definitely a close second.
Yes.
And then I'm going to go into my list. So I have.
Hang on, can I say one?
Yeah,
I want to be the one to say it before you say it because I think it's on your list.
Okay.
So I kind of want to snatch this one from you.
What is it?
All right, okay. Thriller is like, let's just throw that out
rap
there.
that you were talking?
No, it is not
okay.
at all. Get into that.
Yes, Thriller for sure.
We're just gonna say.
That's not on my list.
Are you serious?
I didn't even.
I just figured that's like, let's just get that out of the way. This
Yeah,
be on everybody's
it's a
list.
given. It's a given.
It's a. Why doesn't it make your list?
It doesn't even.
That's like an all year round song.
It is.
It is. Michael MJ. Come on. I'm gonna say A Nightmare on My Street.
The one from Fresh Prince?
Yes.
Okay, that was
that wasn't the one. Oh. Okay, all right. Go ahead with your list because I just wanted to say that before you did.
Wow, that is definitely
it's a
not
good
what I was thinking.
The video is really good too.
It is,
and I love it too. Ironically enough, because you know how I feel about Freddy Krueger. So seeing that video kind of it doesn't necessarily spoof it, but
it's a good like
different take
comedic.
Yes, yeah,
for sure. So Google Muck. So that's the one that the new Addams Family Wednesday dance.
Okay, yes,
popular. Mm-hmm. I think I've just heard it so many times that it's just now like feeling like a very Halloween song. Yeah.
The original Addams Family theme was like
absolutely.
Yeah, that's.
Ghostbusters.
Yes,
that's a given.
Yeah.
I Put a Spell on You, the Hocus Pocus version.
Bette Midler killed that song. Yes. Yes.
Like if I do Alexa, play Hocus Pocus, I have to say Hocus Pocus, I Put a Spell on You. Because if they just play the regular version, I'm like, nah,
that's not what I was
We're not having any of
that. It's not the same.
Halloween trap music, which you heard a little bit earlier. It's like EDM, was like EDM.
You know, I don't know.
Like techno, Halloween, like that kind of music.
All right.
And then the one that I thought you were thinking of was the Insane Clown Posse dating game. I don't know if you remember this, but it used to come on like every Halloween, and it was like this spooky version of like a dating game where the girl's like, if you took me out on a date, what would you do? And he's like, I don't know, I'd probably shake your mom or like do all this crazy stuff.
I forgot about that. That's what I thought you were talking about A Nightmare on My Street.
No,
we were like, old school rap? Really? Yes.
No, the Insane Clown Posse, because I feel like when this came out was like right around Halloween. And for a few years, the radio would play it all the time. Radio is how we used to listen to music.
Yes. Yes.
We had Alexa and Spotify.
Yes.
And that's, it used to come on the radio all the time. And to me, that is like, that was the kickoff to...
It's like a memory you remember. Yeah.
Fall-ish. And so that was my five.
That is hilarious. I love that we were completely not even on the same wavelength with the song.
When you said, oh, it's a rap, I was like, oh my God.
I was like, I gotta beat it to it. Totally off key. That's fine.
What are yours?
So you listed a lot of mine, to be honest with you. One that wasn't on your list, and I know it's not one of your favorites, but it's one of mine, Monster Mash.
Yeah, Monster Mash is good.
Like, I only listen to Monster Mash at Halloween, and it is one song where I don't care what I'm doing, I will like pause and listen to the whole Monster Mash.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of not going to listen to it any other time of year, but it just speaks Halloween to me. Another is Superstition, Stevie Wonder. I grew up listening to like Stevie Wonder, like on the record player with my dad and stuff, different records he had. So that just rings Halloween to me. And Time Warp. I talked about the Rocky Horror Picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So, but yeah, the rest of them you pretty much listed out.
That's good.
We already talked about Addams Family too. So that
that almost goes in the category of thriller.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like a year-round type of. It can come on. You're like, oh, why is this?
Yeah, you just ride with it.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your Halloween like trick or treat do's and don'ts? So, for me, this is gonna sound super bananas.
I'm intrigued.
So, my kids, obviously, I take them trick or treating. But basically, from the start of the pandemic, I just got in this habit of we go trick or treating, but all of the candy that they get, I basically give that away. And then
Whoa.
I let them have the candy that I buy.
Because you don't trust other people's candy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I didn't to begin with. It just made me very paranoid of
Yeah.
having to be that. Like, we grew up from the era of like razor blades in your candy,
Right.
check your candy. But those rumors and stuff like that, they're still going around, and I just feel like, you know what? I don't have time to sit here and sit through your candy, so we're just gonna go ahead and give that away, and then you're gonna have the candy that I bought from the store that I know is like, we're good. So that's
All right, so listen. Okay, I need to know the timeline. So you have them go trick or treating first, and then you get that candy, and then give that to your trick or treaters, and you just at the end of the night give them store bought candy.
No, I take the candy that I like. I buy candy in advance.
Right.
We go trick or treating.
Mm-hmm.
That candy I give away to whoever, and then when they get like a piece of candy or whatever, they get candy that I've bought from the store.
So you just buy a lot of candy from the store to accommodate giving it out and then giving it to them too?
No. I mean, after a while, I mean, let's keep it real, they lose track. It's not like I just let them sit there and like gorge on candy at the end of the night.
Right.
Like, they get however many pieces, and then usually it's like, you know, here and there you get a piece of candy, and it's not like they're keeping track of how much candy they have or how much candy they're getting.
Gotcha. No, I didn't know if it was like, okay, they go trick or treating, they come home, they like dump it into this bowl. You now use this bowl to like hand out candy.
No, because usually what we have done, because the neighborhood that we live in doesn't have a lot of trick or treaters, it's super disappointing. So I have to go to somebody else's neighborhood because my neighborhood isn't like Halloweeny. But I basically set out a bowl of candy for the trick-or-treaters who do happen to come while we're away trick-or-treating in a better neighborhood. And yeah, I have candy that I have in the house that I give my kids, and then I give trick-or-treating candy away.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
You.
So
that reason I feel like that was like a lot.
I didn't understand the timeline. I thought you were like, okay, this is just how you broke it down in the beginning. I just needed some clarification.
I just did a little swap.
All right. They're still getting candy. No big deal. They're happy. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
A typical, so usually I'm able to take them trick-or-treating and then have like a family member at home handing out. Like, I do the most on Halloween. I make little goodie bags. I try to put like little like, you know, pencils and bubbles and stickers along with candy in them. I do.
Gift bags.
I do. What's crazy is the first year that we moved into the house, there were like, I think like 80 trick-or-treaters, and like the bags were gone like within 10 or 15 minutes. And I have to keep increasing. I think I'm up to like 160 bags, and then I just have like just candy. So yeah, they don't really bring it with the decorations in my neighborhood, but in terms of like the amount of children and trick-or-treaters, it's like on another level. So yeah, historically I'm able to have someone there handing out the bags, and then, you know, someone's able to take the kids trick-or-treating. But I go through their candy to make sure everything's okay. I don't swap it out, but I totally feel you, and like I think that's great that you do that. Yeah, we take them trick-or-treating and they go around the neighborhood and it's fine. But as far as do's and don'ts, like, main thing is don't go up to people's houses like that don't have lights on. You know, sometimes people aren't home, but they have a light on and they have like a little bucket of candy, and make sure they only take one, and just don't let them be greedy when they're doing things like that. So that's the main thing. Just don't get crazy. Don't try to run in people's house. And my kids are really shy. They don't really do that anyway, but I've seen some kids that are pretty rambunctious, and like someone opens the door and the kids like rush inside. I've seen that before. So they're a little more like hesitant than anything. That's probably due with their eating.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a little soapbox moment regarding what you just said. So the whole turning your porch light off if you're not participating, I don't feel like everybody gets that memo. So we've gone trick-or-treating, and there's, like, primarily in the neighborhood, not where we go now, but where we used to go, there'd be houses with the porch light on, and not my kids necessarily, but some kids, like the rambunctious ones that just kind of run in people's houses, like you described, they would, like, hang on these doors. Because the light is on, so they're expecting that somebody's going to kind of answer, and instead of getting the hint of, okay, nobody's come to the door within, like, a matter of seconds, they just stand there, and they're just, like, banging on the door.
Oh, my God. And wait, are their parents, like, at the end of the driveway?
I mean, some of these kids, their parents just let them go. Like, they're free-range kids.
Okay.
So they don't really have that. You know, my kids, I'm like, no, let's just go. Nobody's there.
Yeah.
But then you still have some kids that are just, like, banging on the door. So I feel as a PSA, if you're not participating, just turn your lights off.
Right.
You know, do all the kids a favor so that they don't even have to go up your long-ass driveway.
Yeah.
And stand at your door.
Agreed.
I do love the houses that, like I mentioned, me putting out the bowl. If you're not going to be there, it's really cool that you put out a bowl, but it's not cool for the people who decide to just take all the candy. I think that's super shitty.
It is. It is.
So that was my little soapbox moment. That I had to just take one.
Yeah, don't be greedy. And I think it's almost, I don't know. I know some kids are just inclined to, like, take everything, but
there's some videos where people are taking whole bowls.
Yeah, they will dump the whole bowl. I've seen that before. And it's almost like, oh, well, don't leave a bowl out if you don't want people to take everything. And it's almost like, no, I expect you to, like, understand rationing and, like, your fair share.
Absolutely.
And take one or two pieces of candy and be good with it, you know? I've seen some people put, like, a little note, like, please take one, smile, you're on camera. I think that's a bit much for, like, a child. Yeah. I expect the parent to be with you and, like I said, at the end of the driveway, like, you let the kids run up, be nearby, and, okay, they're not there, let's come back, or, no, just take one, but trick-or-treating is supposed to be a family event. Don't just let your kids run wild.
Yeah.
Here.
Don't let them be free range.
Yeah.
Keep them on a leash.
Keep an eye on them. So, in terms of trick-or-treating, I know that you're giving your kids store-bought candy, but regardless, like, we don't go trick-or-treating as adults, but we like candy.
Yes.
Are there certain candies that you're, like, snagging for yourself when it comes to Halloween?
I love the chocolates.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Absolutely.
One for you, two for me.
Yes. Mom tax.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, the Reese's and the Snickers, those are for Mom.
I don't like Snickers.
Really?
I never liked Snickers. I'm more of a Milky Way gal myself.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's like the peanut stuff in there. I don't know. I'm not crazy about it.
See, Milky Way is like, I feel like it was almost a Snickers. They just, like, stop.
I like that they stopped because I didn't eat whatever extra is in the Snickers and it's not in the Milky Way. Yeah.
So you're still in the Milky Way. So
I love Almond Joys too.
Ugh.
I like coconut.
Yeah.
And I love an almond, so yes. Almond Joy is my jam. Absolutely.
You can have all of mine, I think.
Yeah, I'm mainly taking the chocolate stuff. I don't think there's anything non-chocolate that I'm really...
Yeah, no.
If they get some lemon heads, I'm copping the lemon heads.
Okay.
Let me just say. And dots.
Really?
I really like dots, too. Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'm taking those. But I would say the traditional Halloween, what are those little, like, they come in, like, either the black
or the orange.
What are those?
Tappies. I looked it up.
Okay.
And it's actually taffy. And it was super disgusting that people would even buy them and pass them out of candy.
Not a fan.
I mean, at Halloween. And I remember as a kid going through my stash and just picking them out. There's no point. There's no point in even eating those. They're so gross.
Yeah, they're not good at all. How do you know about candy corn? Because I feel like it's very controversial. Ooh, I like candy corn. I don't really buy it for my house, but if I get some, I'll eat some candy corn. I don't hate it.
I know it's very controversial. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy it. If it came down to this or this, I definitely wouldn't choose candy corn over whatever the option is.
Unless it's the black and orange.
Yeah, exactly. But if it was like, you know what, let me just have a little moment of nostalgia, I might eat one or two. But in that moment, I'd be like, why did I love these?
Yeah, yeah.
Why did I eat these as a kid? Because they don't taste like anything.
So let me ask you this: have you ever gotten a trick on Halloween?
No.
Because I had a neighbor that thought it was fun when we would walk around and say trick or treat. He gave a trick.
A trick?
And it wasn't even a cool trick, mind you. I can't even recall what the trick was, but I remember walking away empty-handed and like, so for real, you didn't give us
Really?
Yes. Yes,
No
that
way.
happened. Yes, that happened in my neighborhood at least 2 years in a row.
He would do tricks.
Yeah, like a group of kids, you know, like trick or treat. Oh, I got a trick for you. And he did some little like,
and you just sit there and then walk away.
Yes. And we were like, all right, so do we get candy for like watching this display? You just did. Yeah.
That's what happens when keeping it real goes wrong.
That's what just turn your light off. That's one of those houses.
Yeah.
Turn your light off.
I need you to stay inside. Because that is not what
it wasn't even a cool trick. Like if it was cool, I could remember and tell you, but I just remember it being like some bullshit.
You're
and I was like,
really disappointed.
No candy?
I'm surprised you didn't get jumped.
Might have. Not my group of kids. Who knows?
Got together and we're like, yeah.
This started skipping the house. You know, you start to learn like the houses after a couple of years in the same neighborhood. See, I'm trying to be that house that people want to go to. They got the
you're giving out goodie bags.
Yeah, they got the bags over there.
Goodie bags. So, what are some of your personal family Halloween or fall traditions?
So I will say definitely going to a pumpkin patch. That's something that I've done with the boys since they were very little. I have photos of them every year being at a pumpkin patch. They will continue to go to pumpkin patches.
Forever.
Yeah, for as long as they want to go with me. They love it because, you know, they always have other activities and food trucks and different things that they can do. It's just a nice way to spend a day, an afternoon. Pumpkin carving also is very fun, although historically I end up doing most of the carving. They start a little bit, but I mean, they like pulling the stuff out.
A lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and some of them are very intense.
Yeah.
Some of these little things that they have to do and trying to figure out how to tape it on there correctly or like mark it, and it's a whole ordeal, but it's fun nonetheless. We really enjoy doing that. And now that they are getting school aged, their school fall festivals will be a new thing that we do. We did that for the first time this year. I was telling Tima off camera about my experience with that. I'll spare it for you all, but yeah, we will.
Not your favorite thing to do.
Yeah, they had a good time, and that's all that mattered. So we'll continue doing that as long as it makes them happy. And I'm sure that we'll continue with other traditions as they get older. But those are the few that I can think of right now. What about you?
For us, we're really big into decorating.
Nice.
That's something that just really kicks off the season. I have tried to get in the habit of the moment I feel that crisp fall air of making like one of those nice comfort foods in the crock pot that just really make it feel like
yes, nice.
It's time to get cozy. And then just being in the Halloween spirit, like the music, the movies, all of that. I mean, aside from really like decorating and all that, I don't think I really have any traditions per se, but yeah.
I will say another tradition that I forgot about. I don't know if you guys have a spirit Halloween or something similar. That is something that I love to take my kids to. When they were babies, taking them there, it was funny because they didn't really understand. And then they kind of went through this stage where they were scared. And they're coming out of that now. And they're just like being very brave and approaching these things. They are, yes.
What's this do?
Yeah, and Mason's like, I will burn you. So a little thing that has a little candle on it. So that's definitely another tradition that I'll say. And decorating will become one because even though I don't like very gory, scary movies, I do dig the very gory, scary decorations, as odd as that seems. You know how they have like the cutesy like Halloween stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want none of that. I want spider webs, I want blood, I
Right.
want skulls. And they are progressively becoming into that. So I think the older they get, I'll be able to go a little bit more all out on the decorating too.
It's so fun.
It is. It is.
Things have just been so crazy this year that I didn't think my kids were going to notice that I didn't at that time decorate.
Yeah.
And
well, you normally go all out, so they're
I do.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Are we not decorating?" I was like, "Yeah, of course we."
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that, you know, when you're the one who's doing it all, you don't really feel like people are really into it as much as you are.
Right.
But it was nice to have them notice that I didn't, and just really bring it up that, yeah, this is important to me. And moving forward, I'm going to basically set myself a calendar reminder. Nice. The week before October, I'm going to start decorating.
Yes.
Because things just kind of get away from me, and I don't think about it until the beginning of October. But I need things to kind of be set before then.
So then it's a fun thing, and it's not this like hectic, stressful.
Exactly, because then it just becomes a pain in the butt, and then you have to go through all the stress of getting everything out, putting everything up, then putting everything away because you did it like 2 weeks before Halloween, and you feel like you just set it up, now you got to put it all away. So the week before October, I'm going to decorate for Halloween. If you don't like it, I don't care.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I feel like of all holidays, Halloween has like a definitive expiration date. Like,
oh yeah.
Okay, we're done with that, and it's time to move on into more traditional fall stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Traditional fall. That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can take everything else.
Right.
Leave the pumpkins.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Awesome. Okay, so the next question that I have for you, well, it's not even a question. It's more like a fun fact.
Okay.
So I have a list of movies that are horror movies that are based on real events.
Oh, okay.
So some of these you may have seen, some you may not have because you're not like really into horror movies.
Nope.
But I'm just gonna list them off.
Okay.
As like, did you know?
Okay.
The Exorcist was based on real events.
I have heard that, but I didn't know that it was true. Have you confirmed that this is true?
I mean, they can't put anything on the internet that's not true.
Of course not. Gotta be.
Per the internet, the Exorcist. So
Google told you.
That's why, yes.
All right.
That's why I said based on real events. So the event in itself happened for these movies, but Hollywood does its thing.
Yeah.
Puts its spin. So I'm not going to say that I know for sure that it happened exactly the way that the movie happened, but it is based on a real event that happened with a real person.
Weren't there real like recordings of the boy? Okay, yeah, I thought so. Is that the same thing as Emily Rose, or are those two totally different exorcisms?
Two totally different.
Okay.
But that is on my list.
Okay.
That movie is also based on a real event.
That I thought was for sure.
And she ended up dying from like
she was young,
dehydration, malnutrition, or something like that.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that's also based. That's on my list. The Amityville Horror. That was based. It's like some horror murder that happened in a house.
Was it a family or something? Okay.
Nightmare on Elm Street is based on real events.
Oh,
yes, it is. And I thought you would be like, oh my God, I figured that would solidify the fact that you were never going to watch
Not at all. No, I
was
already done with it, but I'm like, I know. Done.
Yeah.
So there was a guy that hurt kids and they like burned him alive, and the whole time coming to nightmares is probably.
So a lot of these movies are based on real things that happened and then somebody put a spin on it. So from what I recall, it was around the time that whoever wrote this movie, there were some people that had died in their sleep. And so with that information and the details of these deaths came Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm.
Basically, like a horrible murderer who creeps in through your dreams and kills you. But the actual event was there was a series of people who had died in their sleep, all like around the same time, and they weren't able to explain how these people died.
God, Wes Craven did his thing on that. It's like,
Yeah.
as a human being, you have to go to sleep. You have to. That's why it's so like.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I left my door unlocked.
You're not gonna
Right?
sleep tonight.
You have to go to sleep at some point as a human.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the next one is Annabelle. That's the one with like the scary porcelain doll that like kills
That's a
people.
more recent one, isn't it?
I think so.
Okay.
The Conjuring. I think that's also fairly new. Or I don't know. Some of these might be remakes. I didn't watch any of them.
No, I've heard of The Conjuring, but I don't know what it's about. I mean, from the name, I guess I can deduce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's based on real events. The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which we mentioned. The Birds. Wait, you don't know The Birds?
I've heard of The Birds.
It's from...
but I don't know the gist of it.
Oh,
but when you were like,
the name
The
is I thought you were like, oh my god. I'm so frustrated that I cannot think of this author's name, and the fact that he's so well known drives me crazy.
Stephen King?
No, before that.
Oh, okay.
So it's the movie where basically this town is being attacked by like a flock of birds. Not like a few, but like hundreds and hundreds of birds are attacking people, like killing people in this town. And it was actually based on a real event that happened.
Daphne du Maurier?
No. That must be an actress in the movie.
Oh, Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes! Oh my gosh. Alfred Hitchcock.
All right.
Thank you so much.
I was like,
yeah. Those thumbs are working hard. But yeah, Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay.
So the movie's in black and white, but it's also based on a real event. Scream is based on a real event that happened in Gainesville, Florida.
Not Gainesville.
Yes.
Oh.
What it was, I didn't have time to look it up, but I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, so the movie Scream, you know, where they call on the phone and...
Yes.
I know what you did last summer. Yeah.
Wait, no, those are just...
I can't believe I just did
The
that.
call is coming from inside the house. Isn't that one?
Scream. Where you have, like, the Scream mask.
Yeah.
And he's like...
But I thought he was the one that said the call is coming from inside the house.
Yes.
I know what you did.
Yeah. I know what you did last summer is the movie.
That sounds like that would be a real life thing.
It probably
They killed this guy on accident.
Yeah.
That sounds...
And then he's not really dead.
Yeah.
Or is he? Okay. Poltergeist is actually based on a real movie or a real event.
You know that girl died while making the movie, right?
Did she?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
And the last one that I have, not to skate over that, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That one I knew about.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oof.
And I
That's
think
really
one
scary.
of those girls is a final girl in the book.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta check this book out. Interesting.
It is.
The Final Girls. Wow. All right.
Okay.
Those movies were scary enough without knowing that there's some truth behind them, so.
Yeah. Okay. So I have one more little fun fact.
Okay.
So I know you had mentioned pumpkin carving.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so tricky?
Words are hard.
Okay. So pumpkin carving.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the origin of the term jack-o'-lantern?
I do not. Enlighten me,
I'm
please.
so glad you know.
All right.
So jack-o'-lantern is the tale of a man named Jack, who apparently was a really big cheapskate. So I'm just paraphrasing.
All right.
But basically, he goes out to a bar and has a drink with the devil and gets the devil to turn himself into a coin to pay for the drinks. But instead of paying for the drinks with said coin, he puts the coin, which is the devil, in his pocket with like some kind of cross or something like that. so he can't turn himself back into himself. He basically puts him in his pocket, and only would release him if he swore to not bother him for a whole year. And so the devil makes a deal with him saying, okay, I won't bother you, I won't anything. So a year goes up, the devil basically comes for him after the year is up, and he tricks the devil into, I don't remember how this happened, but basically somehow the devil ended up in a tree. And on that tree he put a cross, so the devil wasn't able to come out of the tree. So he talked the devil into making another deal that he wasn't going to bother him for like another 10 years or something like that. So then the devil makes the deal. Somewhere along the line, Jack dies. God basically was like, no, you're not wanted here. You're an unsavory character. Not going to have you. And because he was tricked so many times, the devil was very sour and was like, you're not allowed in hell either. So the only thing he was allowed to do is basically the devil gave him a lump of coal, and he was just sent off to roam until the end of time. And so he took that lump of coal, put it in a turnip, and that's how the term jack-o'-lantern came about, because he said to still be roaming the earth with this lump of coal inside of the turnip.
Oh my gosh. That is super intense.
Isn't
no, I did not know. I had no clue.
I think that's so interesting.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
I have so many questions, but I'm not going to ask you because I know you don't have the answers.
Yeah, I don't have the answers. Please don't ask me. Yeah. So.
Wow.
That's all I had.
Well, you're welcome, guys.
Yes.
Did you know where that term came from?
I feel like that was very long-winded, but that is the story. I don't know how to make it any shorter.
Very outlandish, but that's what they say.
Hey, don't trick the devil.
Yes. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. I have a quiz, and this is a BuzzFeed quiz, y'all. Get used to this because we will be doing a lot of quizzes, a lot of questions. So we know if you'd survive a horror film based on your answers to these questions. So
whether or not I'm a final
girl? Yes, whether or not she'd be a final girl.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do this.
What scares you the most? Clowns, holes, needles, or confined spaces?
Holes, I guess.
Okay. What's your zodiac sign?
Do I pick one or just say?
Yeah, they have like 4 different categories and
Libra.
all of them are listed. Okay. I know what her zodiac sign is, but for the sake of the quiz. Pick a weapon. Knife, gun, hammer, or anything that can be thrown.
A knife.
Okay. When something scares you, how do you react? Scream, fight, run, drop into a ball. First reaction.
Okay, my first reaction is run.
Okay.
But I know a fire girl will fight.
What kind of monster would you rather face? Ghost, demon, werewolf, or a vampire?
I would rather fight a ghost.
Okay. I'm just going to say all of her answers are completely different from mine. So I'm intrigued to see what your results are. You survived! You barely made it out alive, but you did it. Sure, you have some serious trauma to work through for years to come from watching everyone around you die. True final girl status. But you're breathing. That's what counts.
Yes. Oh.
Okay.
The Halloween gods have smiled upon me.
Alright, so let me just make it clear that I did not survive.
Really?
I did not survive, yes.
Wow.
I picked like the gun, the demon, I screamed.
The gun.
Yeah. It says, sorry, the killer was a lot smarter than you. Good news is that you died a hero. JK, you were running away, tripped, and tragically broke your ankle in 2 places.
Oh, I love it. Hilarious.
You know.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So you're a true final girl.
You can
Congratulations to you.
Oh, that's so
Best weapon to use from a distance. I'm like,
in
oh
a real life
God.
situation.
In a real life situation. That's how I gotta think of it.
So you tripped and broke your ankle.
I was running away, tripped, and tragically broke your ankle, not 1 but 2 places. So
Okay,
yeah.
I love it.
Fortunately,
R.I.P.
this is why I don't watch scary movies. Maybe if I watched more, I would know what to
Probably,
do.
yeah.
Probably, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That was an amazing time for us. We hope that you had some great laughs along the way, and just stay tuned because we have a lot more content coming your way.
Yes, indeed.
Lots of ideas. Please give us your feedback. Like, subscribe,
Yes.
little cliche type
All of those.
things. And just give us some of your reviews and let us know some of the things you'd like for us to talk about. So
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us
Thank
this
you.
Halloween. And we hope that you have a very spooky or not so spooky Halloween.
And be safe.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye, besties.
Bye.